grab my coffee cup. Let's see who can. I'm going to try and vary some of these times since I can't do anything else. Since they reinstated the COOF measures, I absolutely can do nothing else right now. Went to the gym this morning. If you're lifting weights, you must wear your government mandated bridle. So unless you're doing cardio, I'm like, oh, so I can't spread if I'm only doing cardio. That's kind of silly. Well, if you're doing cardio or if you're outside, I'm like, but if I'm lifting weights, I don't know. Hey, I'm getting another cup of coffee. Aiden, how are you? I'm doing some sous vide chicken, just salt and black pepper sous vide chicken. It tells me there's no one here. Oh, it says there's 3 people here now. I don't know where I put down my. And yeah, we showed up this morning to the base to work out, and they're like, "Yeah, you got to mask up." And I was like, "Can we just make up our minds at this point?" Like, I'm tired. Tired of all this. So that means that there's no way in hell I can go back to work at any point during this, because that's been the whole thing. Like, okay, well, that's what my doctor has been saying, is like, okay, well, when they lift the mandate, then maybe you can go back. But then I have enough joint issues that he's like, yeah, I don't think you should go back doing construction. I was like, what the fuck do you want me to do? So now I can't go back. So once they reinstated that took me off. And I'm like, so basically YouTube's what I got, guys. That's what I got. So if you want to share my videos so that I can maybe get more people to join in on these, to get more traction, because ad revenue basically is it right now. And I still have to do, my daughter wants pictures printed out, and I'm like, I can't tell her, like, she wants to have her room the way she wants it. Like, I can't just tell her no on everything just because I haven't had any knives commissioned. I do have knives coming in for sharpening. I don't have a website. I had a friend that was, I can't afford to build a website. I had a friend that was building me a website, but it never got finished. And so I'm at that point. I can't afford a website. I can't throw money into a website. I mean, we sold the house. We have that money as a buffer. I did some intelligent investing while I was in the military, but really that went into a retirement plan. I can't draw from that without a fine. I mean, we're okay, but it's still that stressful thing. Like, I have no way forward at the moment. Contracts just got shut down. The contracts for those projects, they basically are on hold now. So they emailed me back. They're like, yeah, we can't do the project right now because of the change. We can't put people on a job site. So they're holding off on even. I'm like, this is just getting. But you can't say anything about it because then they demonetize you on YouTube. So I'm trying to temper that and not get all wound up. But that's where we're at today. That's where we're at. I'm at a loss right now. So I guess I'm just gonna keep filming videos, keep putting them up. I mean, I've definitely seen a bump in the ad revenue. So, like I said, guys, if you're looking for shirts and stuff, the best thing anybody could do to help me right now would be like just log in, and if you're going to Amazon, just use one of my affiliate links to log into Amazon, look at a couple of the things I've got, and then just do your shopping through there, because I definitely do get that. Oh, and I had a drill press thing that guys, I told Jared about it. It came, it does not fit. Yeah, baloney. Are you serious? I can't afford that. Have a cup of coffee for lunch. So I was hoping that I was gonna be able to do a video about this, because it's a really cool concept. So what it is a drill press stand, and basically I could turn this drill into a drill press, but the collet doesn't fit the drill press chuck, because it's supposed to clamp on back here somewhere. Well, problem is that hole, the before clip, as they're calling it, that's called a before clip apparently, as opposed to an after clip. It doesn't fit my drill. So I couldn't even do it. So I'm gonna take that off. I'm not gonna recommend that. I'm gonna take that off my Amazon affiliate links, because there just is no sense me providing you guys an item that does not fit or work, because that's pretty much a standard size hand drill. No, I like, dude, that is the fact that those, so I have 4 total batteries. All I bought was the batteries. The tools were free. I have a circular saw and a drill, nice drill. That is probably one of the best hammer drills that I've had in a long, I mean, I've had several. Nothing's ever gonna beat really a corded. Some of the newer drills will be as good as a corded drill, but that's probably the best cordless drill I've had in a long time. And then battery powered circular saw. This thing has come in so handy with moving in a new place and doing stuff. This is just a great circular. It doesn't have the laser or anything on it like Tino's does. Just a standard circular saw. I used it to build shelves and stuff here at the house. Came with a saw blade. You know, a circular saw, it's gonna take a while before you dull that saw blade until I hit a nail or something. Cordless, some of that was Ryobi cordless. So I have 4 total batteries, 2 chargers. Which means that if I was doing a bunch of stuff, like if Tino and I build, I was gonna build a workbench for out in the yard. If we build something like that, if I can afford the fucking lumber, like I was looking online on Dixieline for what I would need. I was thinking about putting a workbench outside, like a nice workbench outside for when I'm making knives and stuff outside. And I was gonna just build it out of like 2x4s and 4x4s. And I was looking at the cost of it, and I was like, I can't afford to build a workbench. I have to roll this one out there. If I needed a workbench, to roll this one out into the yard. So it's stupid expensive to get anything, to make anything out of. I still have a couple shelves that we need to make. Just little simple shelves, you know, with the L brackets and just hang it on the wall. Did a really nice shelf above the clothes hamper. Or not clothes hamper, the laundry chute, so that we put the fans and stuff that we have room for. Yeah, and that's, no, out here, that was one of the things. So I bid on a contract, earlier this month, beginning of the month. And I got a message back, and they were like, yeah, your bid is the same as everybody else's. The thing is, the state law for DVBEs, my minimum that I can charge them is 3%. And so I charge 3%, which is how I make money. I charge an additional 3% on all the supplies they order. And they came back and they're like, yeah, we can't even do the project. Like the construction management companies were backing out. Like we would have to pay you guys, the subcontractors and the electricians and all this, plus you guys, the vendors. And he's like, we would lose money. It will actually cost us money to do this project. And they basically, the school district canceled the project. Well, then I got an email this morning saying that the new mandates coming out, that they put these projects on hold because they can't put construction crews on the job sites with the current requirements. Because most construction companies out here, I'm gonna tell you right now, they hire migrant workers from Mexico, the day workers that are coming across, and they work over here on a work visa, so they're legally working, but they come over, and the fact is that they're not, you know, they can't get across the border, and it's hurting their construction costs, it's hurting their time, and the fact is that they're like all these. If you've ever done like construction trying to wear a mask, it sucks. So they're just not, I don't know what to do, guys. Just keep making videos. I don't even have a knife in my pocket. Good thing that there's always a knife sitting around here. 8 people. I figured later in the day that maybe like this time I would get, because it's coming up on like 2 o'clock. It's coming up on 2 o'clock on the East Coast. I figured maybe we'd have some people. But hey, 8 people. I'll still talk to you guys. Plus, I know that notifications aren't going out properly. There's a lot of stuff going on with the whole YouTube, like even my analytics and stuff like that. It's just weird. I think Google's having some issues with some of their analytics and programming and stuff. I have not filmed a video yesterday or today. Like 10 minutes, not that bad. I told my daughter she's doing some school, and we sent some pictures that she wants, like $10 worth of pictures. CVS has this thing where she can go on their website and she can take the pictures on her phone that she wants printed and add them to her cart. She hits checkout and we go straight to CVS and I pay for them there and they print them out within an hour. So we should be getting a notification. I should be getting a notification here just shortly that my pictures are ready for pickup. And so she and I, when she takes a break from class here in a minute, I did see it. I saw, I have news for you. It's probably not going to go anywhere on Instagram because it's pictures of knives and it's just not going to go anywhere. I'd stop even trying to promote anything on Instagram. But guys, I'll tell you what right now, sorry, Jake, you came in behind on this. The summer sale started officially on Monday. So any knife to any grit for $25. So if you want to try out like a super high grit, but you don't want to pay that extra like $10 premium, like to take it from like $25 to $45 or to $40. Is that how it works? 25, 30, 35, 35. If you don't want to pay that extra $10 fee and you just want to see what a 10,000 grit edge feels like on a couple of your knives and see if it's something you like, yeah, we'll do that. Straight razors, I'm sorry, straight razors are still $35. It's just because they are so time consuming and it's so delicate and requires so much prep, and my stones have to be perfectly flat. They have to soak for a very long time, except for the Chaucera stones, but it requires a lot of prep work and stuff like that, and they're just time consuming. What's up, Ace? So, and we're, what are we now? 2 days away from the giveaway for the premium tier membership. And the thing, don't forget, guys, I have a giveaway going this month. I have a July giveaway. If you haven't joined into that, just all you have to do is go make a comment. I don't know what that looks like, but don't forget, I'm giving away this brass Olight. I'm giving away this brass Olight to anyone that makes a comment. That's your comment is your entry. One entry per person. It's got to be in the United States, not overseas. If you want to get in on that giveaway, just go find that video and make a comment. I didn't see a lot of people commenting on it. Premium tier members, sorry for all the new members that are not premium tier members, are entered into a giveaway of my custom fixed blade. And next month, I'm probably going to give away 2 items to everyone, and then a giveaway to all of the paying members. I'm sorry, not all the paying members. All of the baseline and premium tier members. The whole thing with the tiers, the way it's written, if you read it, giveaways only go to the top 2, and then so the just looking only gets access to early access to videos. But yeah, we're gonna have to, I'm gonna redraw this one. So I'm just basically gonna give away 2 items to everyone next month. And then I'm gonna pick, I have something that I picked out, I just have to find it, that I have set up for the top 2 tiers. I picked out a specific item that I've never carried for more than like just to do a review. It's a good enough knife. It's just something that I'm not going to carry, and just to keep it in my case, just because it looks, it is an attractive knife. So, but we'll keep that a secret because I'm going to try and get that video put up on the 1st. Today there's a video that goes up at 4 p.m. Tomorrow there's a video that goes up at 4 p.m. So we're going to have 5 uploads this week, and I'm trying real hard to do 5 live feeds. So that basically is 10 videos this week. I mean, if you count the live feeds. And don't forget, everything, as long as I have them, every giveaway comes with a free lanyard bead. Not this one. This was a gift. This is an octopus with glow eyes. I have a bag of beads that came from Frank, and I'm just basically, every item that I give away comes with a free lanyard bead until I run out. And I'll let you guys know when I run out, but they're really, really nice beads. So if you guys are able to like the video on whatever platform you're on, please feel free. There's 10 people here and only 8 likes. So And then merch, the Ember Shirt Co. stuff. If you guys want to check out, I mean, why wouldn't you want a shirt with a knife on it? I mean, you're a knife guy, right? So that Ember Shirt Co. link, the Ember Shirt Co. link is down in the description below, along with a lot of other stuff. So there we go. Shameless plugs are out of the way. People start leaving when I start talking about the merch store and stuff. Like, oh, here we go. And I'm like, you guys do know this is part of a business. Never understood that. I talk about stuff like everybody does GoFundMe for things. As a matter of fact, I donated, even though we're short on cash right at the moment, I donated to Monster. Hey, it's okay, bro. Like I said, I just, Beast Blades. I actually, after you mentioned it, I went to Tim's GoFundMe for him and his boy. I can't give much, but at least I tried. So, but like when you do stuff like that, with the, like I could start a GoFundMe, like, hey, help me out. You know, I can't work. I'm out of work. I can't. The whole thing is, I'm not eligible for unemployment because the situation I'm in is a medical issue. So I was on disability for a year during all of this. And the state of California comes back and says, well, you've expended your benefits. And I'm like, yeah, but I still can't go back to work. And they're like, well, hey, sucks to be you. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me with this. So I'm like, what the, I mean, how do you even justify? But if you start a GoFundMe, boy, that's when people come, oh, here we go with the e-begging. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me with this? Like when I was talking about my daughter's figure skating, like I'm gonna do a GoFundMe probably just for my daughter's figure skating stuff here before too long. I'm not talking about videos, but you're definitely gonna see people like, oh, here we go with the e-begging, just get a job. Eat a dick. You know, I'm at that point where I have no other option at the moment to help with some of these things. I just don't understand people. So, just found your channel and watched the Norseman video. Great stuff. I finally pulled the trigger and bought one myself. Yeah. That's what was in my pocket until here just when I took a shower. Well, Snuzz, usually a summer sale would indicate that it lasts for the summer. So I would say length of the summer sale would be till the end of summer. I don't know. I might just do a 2021 full year thing. It just depends. We'll see. We'll see what the numbers look like and see, you know. I mean, in all honesty, the reason that those step up in grit cost more is because those stones are insanely more expensive. So to go from like a 2,000 grit stone to a 5,000 grit stone, it's more than double the cost. Like your stones up to about 2,000 grit, they're all pretty much relatively the same price. You know, depends, you know, you can get some that are higher quality, but I don't like my 1,000 grit stones. I use a king stone. They're like a $10 stone. I don't see a significant increase in the edge that I get from a $10 stone to a, well, I mean, my 1,000 grit, my large bench stones, my 1,000 grit, I mean, these are all pretty much the same price. These are those aluminum oxide edge pro stones that I use predominantly. You don't see a difference. You don't see a difference in the quality of the finish on a stone until you start getting into the honing stones. And I like to say anything about 1,000, 2,000. I'm not going to lie to you. On the little shelf where I put my phone, a lot of times there's a knife. It's not a joke. I have a shower knife. I mean, why wouldn't you? What do you go to on your knife? It just depends. Like I think this is 1,000 grit finished on an ultrafine ceramic. Because it gives it a different edge profile, or it gives it a different cutting profile. It really is aggressive that way. But like I was saying, like until you cross that threshold from like into the 1,000 and then get into the honing stuff like 2,000, 4,000, 5,000, 8,000, things like that, you're not going to see on those less grit stones, lower grit stones, you're not going to see a real difference in surface finish. Now, once you cross that threshold, I forgot to put my phone on Wow, forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. Shouldn't happen again. So what I was saying is you're not going to see a significant increase in the quality of finish until, you know, if you cross that 2,000 grit threshold. If you buy cheap finishing honing stones, you will definitely find that there is a drastic difference between the nicer, more expensive stones than, say, the king stones. So the Shaptons and things like King does have a couple of really good all-around stones, but the price is definitely an increase. I like the Shapton stones. I like Chaucera stones. So, you know, I take my knives usually to about 1,000 grit. It depends on the steel too. I have some knives that at 10,000 grit, they are just insane, and they're still great and crisp and just bitey and nasty. So, you know, what's my shower knife? Usually it's whatever's in my pocket. If it's not a like if it's a D2 knife, definitely not. It'll sit on the counter outside. But like if I'm going in the shower and I'm taking off my clothes outside of the shower and I've got this in my pocket, I'll put this in the shower on the stand, and I'm like, because a lot of times I'll just take whatever knife I'm carrying because it's really dirty inside, and I'll just rinse it under the shower and then put it on the shelf next to my phone, shake it out, put it right back in my pocket. KPL doesn't wash out. That's usually how my knives get cleaned, is a lot of times they'll just go in the shower with me. That sounds weird. Just realized how weird that is. It's my favorite steel to sharpen. I don't know, as long as it's not. Do you use that super soaker to have water gunfights with children? I don't have a super soaker. I don't know what super soaker you're talking about. Super soaker. Like if my daughter was to come out and spray me with a squirt gun and I was happened to be out washing the car or something, I'd just spray her with the hose. I don't F around, as they say. Read what Aiden said. Oh, let me see. I have a shower super soaker chambered in 38 special. I usually don't. I'll tell you what my dad had. You ready for this? My dad had a toilet gun. And I'm like, toilet gun? He goes, yeah, I got a little 32 over and under Derringer. It sits in the, so if he was on the crapper and he wasn't, because he was a cop and he was always armed, and he would leave the gun in the bedroom and go in the bathroom, and he had a 32 caliber over under Derringer that was in a drawer next to the toilet. He goes, yeah, it's my toilet gun. In case, you know, hey, you never know. But then again, that was a house where you couldn't go 2 steps without being next to a loaded pew-pew. It was just impossible. They were everywhere because he was a cop. So you're a professional sharper. How has COVID affected your business? Horribly. Most people aren't buying things because there's a lot of people that are like me, because I was doing construction, and then I got told by my doctor I couldn't go back to the construction site. So I started my DVBE stuff, which means that I bid on construction contracts as a vendor. And they're not getting picked up. So there's a lot of people that just aren't working, aren't making any money, so they aren't getting knives, and they definitely aren't sending things out to get sharpened. So it's been horrible. It's been horrible for me, which is why I film so many videos, because I get ad revenue. So that's why there's been a live feed every day this week. And there's been, he's like, thanks for asking. Thanks. Hey, is that a sore? Let me poke that. Oh, look. Look, he twitches when I touch it. I'm just kidding. It's okay. It's happening to everybody. Except for Jared. Jared's channel seems to be doing great. Yeah, it's not been great. But like I said, people have been doing, like, I appreciate all you guys that have been doing super chats in the live feeds. I have had people doing live feed super chats, and not as much as I would hope. I had a little jump and then it dropped back off. But I can't tell because YouTube's analytics are all screwed up right now. I think there's a glitch. I turned my computer completely off last night. Like Jared's like, yeah, just log out, reset, and just leave it sit for like 15 minutes. And I was like, I'll just turn my computer all the way off because I don't want to look at it. Where am I from? I'm originally from Ohio. I just happen to live in San Diego, California area. So I live out here because this is where I retired from the military. And I mean, guys, I still have my retirement check. So it's not like I'm not having any income, but the fact is, like, my retirement check doesn't even pay our rent. I can't even say I'm a Steelers fan. I have not watched a football game in like 2 years. I started boycotting that when their values didn't match up with mine. We're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about any political stuff. We're not going to talk about the coof pandemic or the fact that now I have to wear a mask at the gym. But I just pretty much I boycotted that. I didn't watch the Olympics. I said it in the thing. I find it hurtful. It's almost like they're pissing on my daughter's dream when they do things. So like I don't appreciate the kneeling and things like that. It's that the whole thing is the Olympics aren't about you. The Olympics aren't about politics. And the Olympics aren't about any of those things. The Olympics are about you going and presenting to the world on the world stage the level of athletes that you are. You just happen to be coming from specific countries. And to detract from that, I find that repugnant. You're shitting on other people's dreams. It lessens it. You know what I mean? I don't. You don't have to have politics everywhere. That's why I stopped watching football. You get enough politics everywhere. I don't need politics with my breakfast cereal or with my sports. I just know, but we don't need to talk about that. We talk about knives here. I'm starting to acquire an enjoyment of carrying this. I was afraid I wouldn't like it. It has a unique feel in hand, and that's where I was like, I didn't like it at first. And now that I've touched up the edge ever so slightly, it needs a really toothy edge. This is 154 cm. 154 cm needs a toothy edge. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and sharpen it. But the reason, you wanna know the true reason why I haven't filmed anything the last 2 days is not just because I've been busy. The thing that I have to film now is the final full review of the Civivi Brazen that Jared sent me. And I'm gonna have to say, I think I'm gonna have to do a video about it, and I'm gonna have to put it away and not carry it, which sucks because that, I believe, well, hello Aiden, I thought you were already here. That's, I believe, that's probably my, so far, best knife of 2021. That's the best knife I've had come in 2021. And I think I'm gonna do top 3, maybe top 5 videos that have come in 2021. I don't know if I can, I don't know if I can do a top 5 2021 knives. Yeah, but like I said, if I do an OnlyFans, it'll have to be different. I'll just start naked and you guys would have to do tips. And the more money you throw in, the more clothes I put back on. That would have to be it. Reverse stripping. So, but the problem is you can't, like, people would just click on it and go, oh no, and click right back out. I would have to do reverse stripping at a strip bar where, like, it's not as easy just to leave. You're like, oh, you can pay your tab first and shit like that. So there's more chance of people going, oh, just throw money up. He'll put his clothes back on. Just how it worked. But no, right now, so far, there's 2 knives that really stand out to me that have come in this year. Both of them came from Jared. And those 2 knives would be the Concept Cryo and the Civivi Brazen. Those are both just super, super well done knives. That just, I mean, they're amazing. I finished, I basically could have done the review of the Civivi Brazen last week. I had an 80-10, I had an 80-20. I haven't seen the 80-20.5, but if it's the same as the 80-20, I mean, it was a great knife. It's smaller, and I liked the full-size version a lot. I did a video about the 80-20. It was hugely, we're winning bigly. It was a big hit with me. I really, really liked the 80-20. Jared sent it to me, and I borrowed it for a while, and I loved it. And I was like, man, you might not get this one back. Jared sent me a package. It should be showing up today. So I do need to get through some of these knives. I like this, but this just is not. There's some things about it that just, like, people, Jared and I were talking about, people get upset when you talk about a knife that they love that might not be. What the hell is crawling on my leg? And you say anything disparaging about it. Doesn't matter how many nice things. Like, there's so many nice things about this knife. What people focus on are going to be the negative things that I'm going to say, and they get upset. And I would like to remind everyone, the reason I do these reviews isn't to just gloss over stuff. These are reviews. These aren't like, hey, you should go. I'm not getting paid by these companies. Even companies that send me things are informed that if I don't like it, I'll either not do the review or I'll do the honest review and you might not be happy with the end result. That company that sent me that pillow, great product. I love it. I use it every night. It's fucking awesome. I wouldn't have done that review if I thought it was a piece of crap. I was like, you got to send me the item first. I was like, if you're willing to send, I'm not going to go buy it. I have no need. I already had pillows. And they were like, no, we'll send you the item if you just do a review of it on Amazon. I was like, well, if it's not good, you're not going to be happy. And they were like, that's fine. Perfectly awesome way to handle that is to do it honestly. Like I do honest reviews on stuff. I don't like Emerson knives. It's noted. I like some of their designs, but in execution, no, thank you. I'm not a fan. 0 out of 5 stars. Would not recommend. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like some of their designs are attractive. I said that about the last one that I had in the CQC, that mini CQC 15. I mean, it's an attractive looking knife, but execution, no thank you. Execution, action, lockup, it was dangerous. I actually think I noted that. If you go back and say, you know, Emerson knives, still a no for me. Petition to bring back the SOCOM Deltas. Oh yeah, it was a good knife. That was a good knife. I was trying to do some research for a video that I was going to do. It was going to be a little bit different. It was going to be, you know, discontinued cold steel knives. But now that they have been bought out, if you remember coldsteel.com, on their website, they had a list of all of their discontinued items with pictures, like their old past catalogs. Now, I had old past catalogs, and I was like, oh, I got rid of those when we moved. I didn't have room for all those catalogs. Even if there was, Greg, I can't tell you. You know, and I have a non-disclosure agreement with them. I can't tell you anything about what he's working on. I had a prototype of the Minax 6 months before it ever came to market. I carried it. I carried that Minax. I've carried a wee Minax for a year, almost a year. Well, no, about 6 months. Longer than anyone, except for Elliot. I have a prototype. That one that I have. Yet you'll just have to wait, because I can't. I legally cannot. I could be held financially liable. I'm in a non-disclosure agreement with them. Same thing. If you ask me about what's going on with artisan knives, I can't tell you. I can't tell you. I honestly, there's things on YouTube now. I entered a non-disclosure agreement with Alphabet Company and Google because I was asked to be a beta tester for lots. This is one of the reasons that I have memberships but don't meet the criteria. I was asked to beta test their memberships, which is why I have memberships. By the way, below, if you want to support the channel, there's a membership tab. Like I said before, exclusive content for the top 2 tiers, sharpening tutorials for the premium tier, and exclusive giveaways from time to time. So, you know, that's how I got that. Jared has asked me a bunch of times, so how'd you get that? You don't have the, I know. So I get emails from them about things that are coming, if I'd like to test them and add them to my platform. The reason that I'm a beta tester for what was called Applause and is now called Superlike was because I was in that. And so I had to re-up my non-disclosure agreement. So like there's gonna be things that happen on my channel. You're gonna see it like, well, that's weird. I can't tell you it's coming and I can't explain about it, but I can tell you that there are things that are gonna be coming. Because that's within. I just can't tell you details about anything. Like I said, if you did not enter into the July giveaway, I am giving away this flashlight. I'd watch it, Ace. Find out where you live and I'll show you what an alpha male can do. I'm a fucking apex predator, brother. That's not good. I shouldn't say that. Next thing you know, like, Chris Hansen shows up at my garage door. Is like, have a seat. And I'm like, that's not what I meant, Chris. You know what I meant. Have a seat. I'm even putting a battery in it. I love that smell. I love the smell. And so I'll explain something that's not. Did you know that copper and brass don't actually have a smell? The smell you get from copper and brass is actually the interaction between the oils of your hands and the copper or brass. Metal doesn't have a smell. The smell is the result of a chemical reaction between the oils in your hands and the material. So when I touch brass, it gets a smell, but because it's based on the chemical components that are in the oils in my hand and that come from the sweat, that means that when you touch a penny, it smells different than when I touch a penny. I love that smell though. I love the smell of patinaing copper or brass. But anyway, yeah, this is a great little flashlight. I have enough other flashlights. If you're interested in trying to get one of these and you don't win the giveaway, guess what? I have an affiliate link down below. They're still doing a summer sale, guys. If you guys haven't checked it out, check out my affiliate link down below for the Olights. They're doing a summer sale, and like I know that there has been issues with Olights in the past. I've had zero issues with the ones that I have here. I love my Baton 3. That thing, I don't go anywhere without it in my pocket, except to go to the base gym at 7 o'clock in the morning every morning with my daughter. So guys, I'm getting chewed up by mosquitoes. I gotta light. We had a couple wet days and the mosquitoes in these plants out here. I've got to light a mosquito coil. Give me a moment. Of course I have a torch. Why wouldn't I? Yeah, I had gotten some of the Olight stuff. I'd never gotten to see it. And I was like, yeah, it's one of those other things. Like, if I don't like it, we'll see. And all the stuff I've gotten from them has been great. As a matter of fact, I have two Pew Pew lights. One of them might wind up being a giveaway. That might be what we do next. It's a rail mounted light. Unfortunately, I can't show a Pew Pew on this channel. We did that once in the live feed, even though I followed all the rules and regulations about firearms content, and the video still got taken down. They stopped my live feed. They're like, oh, and I got a message like, you didn't violate, we're not giving you a community strike. We just stopped your live feed and took it down because you violated the rules. Kit. I was like, how? I'm a certified firearms instructor. How did I certified and verified that the Pew Pew was empty, and it was silly, and I was like, okay, I guess we can't do that, but I will do that as a giveaway. Those are Japanese mosquito coils, and they definitely work. If I've got one of those lit in this garage, I don't get mosquito bites. They do make your eyes burn if the garage, like if you forget you lit one and you close the garage door, and a little bit later you're like, my eyes burning, and then you realize that there's an area of the garage that just is like a band of smoke across the entire garage. You're like, oh, that's why my eyes burn. Fucking tape everywhere. So yeah, that's basically what's going on. I woke up this morning to a notification that I was basically not going to work anytime soon. What's up, Slask? Nothing, just lamenting the current situation of my life. Like I said, right now basically YouTube is the income. Was late, but I caught the last vid on carrying fixed blade. It was solid. Yeah, I mean, I all the time carry a fixed blade. I'll tell you one of the things that I have here that I've had for a while, and this actually, I had a customer, this is when I first started my sharpening business, had a customer, and I told him, I was like, at the time, I think it was no, aluminum oxide is close to sapphire. I mean, basically, So sapphire is a type of aluminum oxide that just has a specific. It's like crystallized aluminum oxide. It's which is what's in your stones. It's just aluminum oxide, and it's the same thing. It's just certain impurities that imbue it with color. Sapphire, ruby, emerald, they're all the same. They're all aluminum oxide. It's just they get their color from an impurity that's in them. So no, not chromium oxide. Chromium oxide's a little bit, I believe chromium oxide might be softer than aluminum oxide. I don't remember, but at any rate, I mean, you don't get chromium oxides. Yeah, that's what I was just showing you. This is a solid brass flashlight. A lot of the other lights are aluminum. Baton 3 is aluminum, but it's a good one, and it's got a magnetic charger on it. Problems with a knife, I don't see people. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, but so Jared and I were talking about that, and how long have I been a professional sharpener? You sharpen on stones only? No, I do not use. I don't use a grinder. It takes too much material off, too much of a chance of overheating the edge. Everything's done by hand. So it's all on stones. All low lights. What we were talking about here? Oh yeah, we were talking. So Jared and I were talking about it, and I was like, I try to save, and I do this intentionally. I try to save anything bad I have to say about the knife, which 99% of the time, on most knives, is going to be a pocket clip or just the fact of the way it fits or sits in my hand and it's uncomfortable. I have not had any bad knives come in. I've just had knives that weren't necessarily a fit for me in a long time. I've had some bad knives come in. But yeah, we both agreed that like you can tell people just get upset at a point where you start talking about a knife they love, and I'm like, you can't get upset about my opinion. You may like that knife, I may not. You might like a certain steel, I may not. But the fact is, they're both knives. They're both great. Just enjoy knives. If you enjoy a knife, good for you. Just because I mean it, you can't. It's not a personal attack upon you. You know. So, no, but I was saying about this, I've used this knife. This knife sits on my bench a lot. This is an old timer, and it is a Schrade old timer, and this is made overseas. This is an offshore production, I believe, either China or Taiwan. I can't remember. China. But this is a Big Bear Trapper, two-bladed, and I have this knife for one reason and one reason only. When I first started, I think I was still active duty when this happened. I had a guy that reached out to me, said he'd sharpen. At that time, I think it was like $15 a knife. And I said, yeah, I could do that. I told him it was $15 a knife. And he says, yeah, well, I want both blades done. I was okay. And I told him, and I was like, it's going to be like $30. And he was okay with it. And I still have the emails because I reach out to him every once in a while. I send him pictures. In fact, I'm still using his knife. And I told him, I was like, that's not a real expensive knife. You may want to think about, whether you want to send it, $30, you could just get a brand new knife. He says, no, I'm going to send it. And then he got all bent. He goes, well, you said $15 a knife. I was like, yeah, there's 2 blades in this. That's 2 sharpenings. That's $30. He goes, well, I'm not paying that. I inherited it. I was like, well, then you're not getting your knife back. And this little knife comes in handy. It works well. This one I've got, I think that's a 2000 grit edge on it. This is this 440? It says on it somewhere. No, it doesn't. This little knife has come in so handy so many times. Nice little slip joint. My dad had one of these. It wasn't the Big Bear. It was a little bit smaller. This little knife has come in handy so much, and I've resharpened it a few times. As you can tell, it's a little thin. It gets used a lot. If you need to sharpen a carpenter's pencil, this is probably the best knife for it. This, by far, is the best knife for it, this little trapper. So 19 people, 8 likes. If you guys haven't dropped a like, go with it. I want to see how many likes it pops up, because I'm curious how many people are here, because people leave and come back and leave and come back, or leave and new people log in. Hit the like button. I want to see what the current like status would be if we all hit the like button. 19 for 19. Because I watched it jump up. At one point it jumped up. I had 10 people, but I had like 17 likes. 20. There we go. It says 20 now. 440 is still solid. I like like I was saying, that buck in 420 HC, not 440, it's 420 HC. That thing is great. Super aggressive edge. I think that's a 600 grit edge. Super aggressive, but it doesn't feel coarse. Sometimes when you have a coarse edge, like a 600 grit, sometimes it's gritty and just doesn't cut the way you want. Where is mine? Oh, it's over here somewhere. But then there's some steels that at that same grit feel almost too slick. This is that cold steel in what was this, CTS BD1. Anything over like 400 grit and this just feels slick, like it doesn't want to cut. Now this thing is really aggressive right now. That's a 400. This is a 400 grit edge. I remember now, I redid it, but it takes such a polish, and it's got to be a super fine grain structure that goes with it. But it is really, really, really aggressive. Max, we've talked about, Greg, I believe we've had this conversation numerous times. Do you load the glass saxophone with jazz cabbage? Because I'm sure we've had this conversation. Max is great as long as it's heat treated properly, which usually the issues you have with them are not issues with the heat treat. What happens is Max is really picky when you sharpen it on a belt grinder, which that's 99.95% of companies. That's how they sharpen it. Somebody's just there. That's their whole job all day. Zzz, 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 zzz. Okay, good. And what happens is, as the belt gets worn, it doesn't have the cutting potential, and it's like having basically something slicker, and you get more friction. And if you're not using enough water, or if your belt has gotten a little dull, like the abrasive is worn, what happens is you impart more heat to the steel. Max is really, really picky about that. So what happens is you'll get a knife that just doesn't feel like it cuts. It just feels like the edge is ruined, and everybody immediately blames the heat treat on the steel. I don't do that until I've sharpened a knife numerous times. Like sometimes, like I'm not gonna lie, my Microtech DOC in Max was like that at first, and like it just didn't want to hold an edge. But after I sharpened it a couple times, and I got rid of that overheated steel at the very edge and apex, it was fine. And so usually I'll reserve judgment. Now people have said, oh, well, maybe that ZDP 189 Spyderco Endura you have, maybe that's just that it got overheated at the edge. No, that's a bad heat treat, because no matter how many times I've sharpened that knife, no matter how many times, and it's been sharpened a ton, it just will not hold an edge. The only reason I still have that knife is I can't justify buying another Endura, which is the only Spyderco I've ever liked, really, very much at all. And I just cannot buy one if I already have one. So and when I think about it, it's like, oh, you know what, I should get one of the ones in VG10. I'm like, nah, I still have that one upstairs. Prevents me from spending money on something that I probably will not carry. But the way that the Endura feels in hand, it's an incredibly nice knife. And the other thing is, I also own another Endura variant that I keep in my case. I'll show you what I'm talking about. So the Endura family of knives includes basically a fucked over rebuilt Endura, different blade shape. All they did was change the blade shape. If you were to take this knife and set it side by side with the Police, the Delica, and the Endura, you would notice that they basically all have the same handle. Now, I do like this knife. This knife is, everything is great. I got this from my wife. She doesn't feel comfortable carrying it. This is my shitty neighborhood knife. And if you look, it's set up left-hand carry. Right? Right hand, left hand. Because I can put this in my left pocket And then dumb hand has something that requires very little to no training to use. I heard the cat come in a second ago. Or he probably went in the house. So I do have to say that I like this, to the point that I went out of my way and sharpened. Now, I wouldn't offer this. This is not a service I offer. But I had a lot of time on my hands at one point, and I polished the insides of those serrations. That. So, I mean, I do like that knife. Yeah, I did. I did. It was an exercise in just, can I do it? So, what was it? Somebody just asked, how might one... Yeah, it is fragile. That's why I don't EDC it. It's just a personal tool for defense. How might one figure out which steels is best grit for an... Figure out which steels like the best grit of edge. Just basically, I do it as a, like, I'll go up one grit, and if I don't like it, then I'll take it back down. Like I found most times, I have found S35VN, if you take it too high of a grit, it feels slick and doesn't want to cut. I don't have that problem with 20CV and M390 from Boulder Udelholm, or it's just I mean, it's just by experiment. Like I make recommendations to customers. Like I ask them, what are you going to do? You found a Kershaw leak. That's a nice little knife. I mean, you can't argue. That thing has sold so well. What was this? So how does the action on the Skahawk compare to the Norseman? Well, I would like to say that, like, I could pull one out and show you and say that it's comparable, but there's definitely a difference. The Norseman and the Rask definitely have a better action. But I can't tell you, because I sent a Skaha off to a guy and he said that it got stolen. I can't verify that because, you know, I don't know. And I couldn't get my insurance back on it. So I had one that was a gift, and I had it for like 2 weeks, and I sent it off to another YouTube. Guilt. But I kind of feel like I might have gotten hosed on that deal. And like I said in the video that I did, I think it went up yesterday or the day before, I sent, that was the one that went up yesterday. I sent my Minax and I sent my Ultratech off to a channel. Now, this guy only had a handful of subscribers, like maybe 12 subscribers. But I had talked to him on Instagram, seemed like a good dude. I got a guarantee. I had his address. I was like, I will call cops to reclaim my stuff. There's a lot of money tied up in these knives. And I was like, had his address, had his name, all that information. He took the knives, he sent them back to me, and I've now taken apart both those knives, or I've had both of those knives out and looked at them, and he used super glue, and there's definitely something wrong with the action on my Minax that was not wrong before. Tried to contact him, not getting a response, and his channel no longer exists. Like he took the channel, like you search it and the channel's gone. So I'm kind of upset. I fix. There's just the fact that I should not have to fix something. I think, I don't know. There's something weird about the pivot action. So when I put it back together, I had a very hard time getting my Minax back together. And once I did, it wouldn't flip. You have to really muscle that to get it to flip. And the lock bar tension's right and all that stuff, but the action, this thing was like drop shutty. But if I loosen that pivot up any, I have blade play. So there's something with the pivot. But he had super glued this back screw in, and I can't get the pocket clip off now, because the pocket clip is is super glued, because when he put the screw, because these have only screws on one side, so this screws all the way through into this scale. It's a long screw. I was having such a hard time getting that screw. I kept, like, I was like, I can't get it out. Like, it was loose, but I couldn't get the screw out so that I could get the knife part and get the backspacer off. And when I pulled it out, there was super glue all over the shaft of this screw, all over the threads, into the backspacer, and it was all in here. So, but now this knife, I'm not gonna lie to you, 2021 knife of the year for me. Whew. Get the Kingstones out of Japan. I have links to, affiliate link is down below, Nathan. That is a Sea Snake shirt with the Crazy Sharp logo on the sleeve. Ember Shirt Co. Is it that Fair and Forged design? Yeah, Elliot designed this. That's what I was saying. I carried this for about 6 months before anybody even saw this hit the market. This is a prototype. Elliot just gave it to me. Elliot gave me one of the prototypes. So yeah, if you go to the Ember Shirt Co. Affiliate link down below in my descriptions, you can get them. They have 3 different colors, and they're super comfortable shirts. I don't wear them. Like, very rarely do you guys actually see the design that's on my shirt. I don't wear them because I'm showing you guys the merch. I wear them because they're super comfortable. And on a hot day like today, because it is kind of hot today, I don't know what they did to this cotton. It's 100% cotton shirt. My goodness, is it comfortable and cool and wicks, and it doesn't, you know, when you get a cotton shirt and they get all the, like, the little beads of material when you've had them for a little bit, doesn't do that. It's still nice, and they're great shirts. Great shirts. I think they're a high thread count is what it is. I think they're kind of more of an expensive shirt, but they've got them on sale. If you use my affiliate link, you can find them. You recommend the Fair and Forged Crux. Well, let's put it this way, AJ. There's a link to it down below in my recommended EDC knives. I'm not as big a fan of the Falcon. I own a Crux. It's right here. So typically, if I own it, that's a glowing recommendation. If I have one that's mine and I keep it, does this need? Yeah, this needs a touch up. This needs a touch up. This got used recently a good bit. I have a Crux. So, any further questions? I have a Buck, Fair and Forged Buck. I have the Fair and Forged Gent. I have the Stinger. I did a video of the Malice. You can go back and find it. I did a video about the Malice. It's a great knife. It's a lot. It's like a beefy Archbishop. Go back through my channel and like search "We Malice reviews" on YouTube. You should be able to find it. I have the Fair and Forged Fortis, or not Fortis, the Archbishop. Really similar. It's just like, it's like a beefier version of the Archbishop, and I was like, I don't like it because I like the Archbishop so much, and I thought I wouldn't like, and Elliot gave me, he's like, just carry the prototype for a little bit, and I carried it, and I was like, all right, I like this. I do like this. So, man, I'm really upset about the action on this now. But if you want a knife that has a really thin edge profile and a recurve in 20 CV, the Minax is the way to go. I almost named this one. I had a name for this, and Elliot liked it, but then I guess We Knife didn't. I told him to call it the Warthog because it looks like something, it looks like the vehicle that Master Chief was driving in the Halo series. The Mordax, the kick-ass design. I have an original Mordax. The Warthog. That was the original name for that, and they changed it. I almost named the Crux. Or no, the one that was the Gent. I almost named the Gent, and they were like, we gotta come up with a name. I was like, call it the Coupe. I was like, because they were like, it's a gentleman's folder. They wound up calling it the Gent. I was like, well, gentleman's folder, what's every gentleman have? He has a coupe. What British people call like a coupe, like a small businessman's car, a gentleman's car. And they were like, ooh. But that got changed too. So, okay, depending on the stone, if it's a splash and go kind of stone, no, do not leave it. I ruined a couple of my Chaucera stones. I did not realize you couldn't soak them, and I let them soak, and they came apart. If you are talking about aluminum oxide stones, I leave these in a tub of water, and people are like, oh, you don't have to soak those. No, you don't have to. You have to soak them for a few minutes before, but if they're already soaking and they're in the water, it's not hurting anything to leave them there. Norton stones, no problem. These king stones, no problem. They're water stones. I soak these for like 24 hours before I use them. This stone that I still haven't flattened yet when I showed you guys how to do the grid for flattening. This I'll soak and leave it in the bucket of water for days. So it just depends on the type of stone. Ooh, almost dropped that. That would have broke like a piece of glass. Now this is an old Arkansas stone. You don't soak it in water. It doesn't use water. It uses oil. And I keep it in here, but I make sure that it gets wiped off real good with some rubbing alcohol before it goes in. That way I don't get oil on any of my other stones. As a matter of fact, I'm going to start doing that again where I keep it separate. It needs to stay over here because just to prevent forgetting. Depends on where you're at. Like, it doesn't matter the water. I use just regular tap water, but if I'm doing something like, say I'm doing 3V, 4B, something that's going to rust, D2, carbon steel, like an old carbon steel knife, 1095, something like that, I will put about a half a teaspoon, because I use these little Tupperware tubs. I'll put about a half a teaspoon of baking soda in the water before I put the stones in. Not that it affects the stones at all, but it keeps you from getting rust on everything. Like when I sharpen straight razors, carbon steel straight razors, I'll put an entire tablespoon in a bucket. It's about a tablespoon per gallon, and it keeps you from, it drops the pH level, and it prevents the rust. So, guys, it's been like 62 minutes. I'm gonna have to get off of here. I gotta go pick up my daughter's pictures. So, there will be a video going up. Right now, it's just about noon. Coming up on noon. Video goes up in 4 hours. So there's a premiere going up in 4 hours. Go find the premiere and share it if you would, and that way people see it. We get more people in the premiere because that makes it fun when we're in the live chat. The reason I do premieres is so that you guys can interact with each other, but I enjoy the interaction. The reason I do these live feeds is because I enjoy interacting with you guys. They're fun, and it's just a way for us to communicate, just talk about knives. We can kind of do the same thing and talk about the aspects of the video. Like if you guys have a question about a video, and I'm in the premiere, I could probably answer it right then. Like, oh, what about this? I'm like, oh, I can do that. I can just type in a response while we're watching a pre-recorded video. It's a lot of fun. So premiere, I do video premieres. I'm trying to do videos daily at 4 p.m. Pacific. No, I hate carbon fiber as a handle material. It sucks to work with. It sucks to keep it straight. It sucks to drill holes through. And to tell you the truth, I'd much rather have micarta because it feels, micarta feels better. Micarta or G10, that's one of the good things. I do like the handles on this knife a lot, this Main Street. It's starting to grow on me. It's a thumb flipper only, thumb stud flipper only, which I don't mind if the action's good. So, all right, guys, I gotta get off here. I love you all. Take it easy. There's stuff down below. Like it or don't like it. Comments, keep it clean. Use the affiliate links. I've said it before. If you're going to go shopping on Amazon, log in through one of my affiliate links. Even if you don't buy the item that you're looking at, I do believe I still get credit for any of the purchases you make with that affiliate link. So if you're gonna go shopping on Amazon, please find my video, click on it, just take that extra minute, click on it, and use my affiliate link to do your shopping. It helps out the channel, and it helps keep my daughter on the ice. Finally, someone else that doesn't like carbon fiber can't wait. I mean, it's attractive, and I've done a couple handles in carbon fiber. As a matter of fact, I've made a knife for my daughter that's in shredded carbon fiber. We'll look at that some other time, but I do have to get off of here. Love you guys. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.